All right, there you have it. Our family feud is going to begin. First of all, Mr. Steve King of Iowa, I apologize 1,000 times. And all I'll say is I got blasted by Novocaine this morning, and the stuff is wearing off. But I thank you for coming back on this program. And I disagree with you, but I respect your view. Mike Pence, as always, you are a great American. Steve King, let me begin with you.
Thanks, Larry.
Steve King, you and Mr. Tom Tancredo, another friend, although I disagree on immigration, you guys are blasting my pal Mike Pence, calling him amnesty, amnesty, amnesty. The guy's trying to put up a legitimate pro-security compromise on immigration. What is wrong with Mr. Pence's plan?
Well, first, I've been very careful not to blast my friend Mike Pence. I've written one article, and I've been fairly mum about this since then, but I do disagree with Mike. And one thing is that, it really is amnesty. If you either reduce or eliminate a penalty for a law, then it is amnesty. And no one is going to self-deport from the United States and leave America if they are a criminal. It'll just be the good guys that do that, and they'll get a bus trip paid for by their employer. But what will really happen is to do background checks on these people. USCIS cannot do it. These people do not have identities. They don't have identities in their own country, so we'll not be able to search their background, and the background check part will have to be a sham.
All right, Mike Pence, it looks like there is no immigration deal, at least in this short section of Congress, despite your near-heroic efforts. But how do you respond to this attack, not necessarily from Steve King, but this attack generically that your plan is amnesty? I heard it from Pat Buchanan on this program, not surprisingly.
Well, there's a saying in NASCAR, Larry, that rubbing is racing. And, we can bang fenders and still be friends, and that's true of Steve King and I. For sure. But I disagree with Steve. From my standpoint, amnesty occurs if we say to illegal immigrants in this country, all you have to do is write a check and you can stay in the United States and we'll make you right with the law. Under the Hutchison-Pence proposal, we say to all 12 million illegal immigrants, if you want to get right with the law, you have to leave the country and apply outside the United States at one of these new Ellis Island centers. Submit to a background check, a health screening, have your employment confirmed, and then you can be issued a biometric visa for 2 years. I think as a matter of the law, and I say this with respect to Steve, as a matter of law, if you're outside the United States applying for the legal right to work in the United States, there's no amnesty involved in that transaction.
Steve King, we just got
most Americans agree with that.
We just got 25 seconds, but Mike Pence sounds so reasonable to me, Steve. Take us out.
Well, there are no caps in Mike's plan. How many are too many? That's the obvious question to ask. How many would be too many to come into the United States? But we have also $65 billion worth of illegal drugs coming across that border. Let's get together, Mike, and seal the border and do that in September. We can talk about something else.
Well, and as you know, Steve, under the Hutchison-Pence plan, we do border security first and exclusively for 2 years. But there are caps after the first 3 years in the Hutchison-Pence plan. That's not widely known, but we do want the Labor
in September. We can get that far.
We got to do this again. We didn't do this justice. We got to do it again. Steve King, I think we can do $1 million a year easy. Mike Pence, hang in there, buddy. Boy, those attacks are rough. Thanks to Representatives Mike Pence of Indiana and Steve King of Iowa. Up next, my last